Not on sale this week. Jeez, not even close.
I might have been by pop. My husband will get on me, so once in a while.
I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. We've got a small crowd outside. Can I get an approval of minutes of meetings held on December 21st, please?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right. Any persons wishing to address the board, Bev? Nope. Thank you. Can I get approval of the agenda, please?
So move. Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, and I believe our good news report is coming from Boyd Perkins tonight.
Well, good evening. My name's Boyd Perkins. I'm the coordinator of fine arts here in the Sioux Falls schools. And one of my favorite things to do is talk about the positive things going on in the fine arts programs. And I could talk for hours if I wanted to, but I'm going to give you an overview of one small part of our fine arts program and one that's really thriving right now, and that's our choral music programs in the high schools. And I'll give you a brief overview of some of the high schools, and then I have something very special I'm going to show you about one that's particularly thriving that I think you'll be very interested in seeing. At Washington High School, we are now entering what's called the show choir season. Anybody who's been involved in the show choir arena knows that that's a crazy time for a bunch of students and parents, and they really get excited about this. We have at Washington High School, we have 2 show choirs. Our directors are Jeff Spencer and Dalen Fargo. Dalen is a new teacher with us. We just hired last year. He was the top graduate in vocal music at the University of Nebraska, and I know that because their head choral director said so. We're very excited to have him on board, and he's already done an amazing job at Washington, and you can just see the energy. I was at their performance the other night. You can see our choirs, our show choirs, do quite a bit of traveling. In Sioux Falls, we travel on more of a regional level because we need to go to places where the other groups are at the caliber that our groups are at. The best show choirs are in Omaha, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and the Twin Cities. You can see by our traveling there, we're going to hit those some of those towns right there. I do want to point out to you, though, our local competition, and these are the top fundraisers for our programs and really outstanding opportunities to see a lot of choirs. On the 27th, we have the Roosevelt High School Executive Showcase, and on March 10th, we have the Washington High School Best in Show competition. If you get a chance to check those out, it's well worth your time. They're an all-day event with a finals performance at night, and if you've never been to one of those finals performances, you'll be in for a treat from the energy from those students. We transform the gym into a full-fledged stage with lights and sound, professional lights, professional sound. It's literally a Broadway production in there. Lincoln High School does things a little differently. They have a chamber choir that's more of a classically focused group that meets during the show choir times, and they focus on some popular music. They're a non-competitive choir in the show choir area. They focus on a classical style of singing, so they're not quite as involved in the show choir as the Washington and Roosevelt are. New Tech High School, we do offer choir at New Tech, and that's taught by Pam Green. And she does a tremendous job at New Tech, and I know that's a great change for the day for those students that are out there, and she's been doing terrific work with that and loves teaching out there. And the Roosevelt High School Choir. So I'm going to highlight some things going on at Roosevelt right now that are very exciting. Back up. Robin Starks Holcomb is the head director, and John Perezzo is the assistant director, and you'll actually get a chance to see them in a moment here. You can see there's their schedule. There are differences. That group is going to the Twin Cities for a competition up there, and a lot of them are actually the same as the Washington Choir, although we are going to Vermilion with this group as well. Have a look at the enrollment in the choral department since Robin Starks Holcomb took over in 2011. It's nothing short. That is just an amazing amount of kids enrolled in that choir out there. It's just amazing to watch out there and watch all those kids in those rooms. Every ounce of that music department is just full of kids all day long. And it's just so exciting to watch that. So we're up to 582 this year and wondering where that's going to go in the future. There's nothing that seems to be slowing down. Here's some Roosevelt choral factoids. 582 in the choir at Roosevelt High School. It's by far the largest choral program in the state, and I mean there's not even a close second behind that. 10 choirs, including 2 show choirs. This fall, this is one I really like, 27 upperclassmen joined choir for the very first time. That means they've never sung in a choir and decided in high school, I'm going to start choir. That means word on the street is this is a great place to be. And 27 joined choir for the first time. That's fantastic. This is what we call a good problem in music class. The last 2 classes of the day, mixed chorus, have reached a maximum size for the room. There are 100 chairs in the choir department, but more than 100 students in each of those classes, and that's about the max you can get in that room. That's what we call a good problem to have when you have lots of students wanting to be in your groups. Approximately 60 students returned away from show choir this year after auditions. That's actually enough for a 3rd show choir, which I know they'd like to start. And because of the size and reputation of the program, we have many practicum students visit, 3 alone this fall, and there is a waiting list for student teachers from the regional colleges and universities. So what we have is a special guest. They're going to sing one song. It's going to be about 2 minutes worth. This is the Roosevelt Show Choir. Come on in. I got a chance to see them at the executive showcase last year, which was their competition for the first time. And I'll be honest, I'm not always easy to impress with this stuff. I was blown away by it. And if you get a chance to see them, they have multiple costume changes in their show. They're in full makeup. Their stage has got multiple sets and heights. It's really amazing to see. And I'm going to let them do their thing here.
Wow, I'm somewhat speechless.
I think the temperature went up 20 degrees. That was incredible.
Thank you all.
Wow, nice job, boy.
Thank you.
I was just going to say, before everyone runs away, when I first got elected to the school board, the next March, or maybe it was February, I received an email from, I think it was a student that was in the Washington show choir, inviting all of us as board members to come to the Best in Show. And I was like, what in the world is this? I have no idea. I went to Roosevelt. They did not have such a thing when I was a student there. And so I took my 2 daughters with me, who are now in 5th and 8th grade, but this was 4 years ago. And we have gone every year since, because it is just an amazing show. The talent. You guys are lucky tonight you got to stand still, right? Normally you're like dancing and sweating, and it's amazing that you can actually sing and dance and do some of the things that they do at the same time. So a lot of talent. Thank you so much for coming, and I've always enjoyed watching all of the Sioux Falls schools perform at that show specifically, but now I have another date to write down in January and hopefully come to Roosevelt and watch you guys too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd also like to add, the reason they're dressed this way is because they're in retreat right now. They're at dinner break. So they trail straight over how our retreat right now.
Well, work hard.
Go work hard.
Good work.
Robin?
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Oh, how do you follow that up? Any conflicts of interest? Hey, I didn't think I saw any. May I get an approval of the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, we have no supplemental consent agenda items tonight, so we move on to the reports of the superintendent.
Okay. Well, we have several reports for you tonight. The first report is the teacher internship report, and that'll be brought to you by Assistant Superintendent Nold.
I'm going to warm up here. I'm going to try to sing this for you.
That should bring us back down.
That'll cool it off in here quite quickly. Didn't get to the punchline. I was trying. I do know those students put in a ton of hours and time preparing for those. My daughter went out a year ago for the first time, and yeah, we didn't see her for a few months in there. But they spent a lot of time and effort, and they have an incredible show, both those two schools. So yeah, it's good to see. This evening's report is with the update on the Sioux Falls School District Teacher Internship Program. There's 2 programs that we are working on. This one deals with the adults. The student teacher pathway program is with the students. So this one will be the adults that we are working with as far as growing our own. The Sioux Falls School District Teacher Internship Program falls under the area of district staff in area number 3 and goes along with our priority statement of the Sioux Falls School District will develop strategies to enhance the quality and diversity of its workforce. And I'll go through and give you an update of the program. The start of this program was to look for adults that are currently in our community that do have a college degree or already working within the Sioux Falls School District that may have an interest in a teaching career but do not have a certification to be a school teacher at this point in time. So that was the start or the thought process behind the internship program. We started this at the beginning of this year, but last year we sent out applications throughout the district and posted it online, and we had over 30 individuals apply to be part of the teacher internship program. We looked for or gave preference to those areas that were hard to fill areas. So when they filled out the application and put their area of interest, we did give credit to those individuals that were working towards hard to fill areas. And we also looked to recruit a workforce that is more reflective of our student body through this program. We accepted 6 out of the 32 that had ended up applying. We accepted 6 that would be part of the internship throughout this 2017-18 school year. Through the 6 that we had accepted, we had interviewed those 6 individuals to make sure that they fit within and would be someone that we'd be interested in having as a teacher in the Sioux Falls School District, and them also to be familiar with the Sioux Falls School District and what we had to offer here. 4 of those 6 were applying for areas of internship in the area of special education, which is obviously a hard-to-fill area for us. 1 in the ELL Immersion Center, and then the 6th one was a middle school Spanish immersion center or middle school math combination. So those were the individuals that apply. 3 were currently employed by the Sioux Falls School District and 3 were not. Another thing to look at this, or a byproduct of this program, is that it really gave a career advancement opportunity to a lot of our support staff, as we did not think of that maybe as the original part of, but ultimately gave a lot of opportunities for our support staff to be able to go in and not be an educational assistant. We had placed them in somewhere outside of their school building that they were currently at, but allowed them to go into a different school site and experience what a teacher experienced throughout their internship. The University of South Dakota partnered with us also in a program that they had and provided educational opportunity in the form of credits for these individuals who are part of the internship as well. So each of these interns had the opportunity to pay, just as a transcribed credit costs, to receive credit for the internship program, and it could be applied then towards a master's in education, which 4 of these 6 individuals, the 4 in the area of special education, all enrolled in that USD program to earn their Masters of Education in the area of special education. So we're pleased on that, and obviously look forward to having that be an area that could help to provide us employees back in the Sioux Falls School District as special education teachers. The 4 of those 6 did enroll in a certified program. The remaining 2 are looking to go through alternative certification processes, so we're still looking to go in the area of teaching, but we'll probably pursue an alternative certification route. In the first quarter of the 2017-18 school year, I'll introduce you to these 2 individuals that have completed. First of all, Loreto Fuentes was placed at Edison for her internship, and the internship is for 45 days or 9 weeks, 1 full quarter. And she was there at Edison Middle School with the math, middle school math, and then also worked in the Spanish immersion program, and she is a native Spanish speaker. As you see there, a photo of Loreto working in the classroom there at Edison. So she completed this in the first quarter of, and is currently pursuing that alternative certification. Our second placement that was also completed in the first quarter of this school year was with Emily Kern, and she was at Laura Wilder Elementary and completed a special education internship. And you'll see Emily there far to the right with the classroom teacher and the support EA that is in the classroom as well. So both those 2 individuals have completed. Emily is currently enrolled in the master's program down at USD. The other individuals that are going to complete the internship will do so. 1 is currently in the internship program right now in special education as well. And the other 3 will be coming up in the 3rd quarter, with 1 of which, and then 2 of which will be in the 4th quarter. The Sioux Falls School District Teacher Internship Program does have a cost, because each of the individuals that are completing the internship, if they're not currently an employee of the Sioux Falls School District, will receive substitute pay for that day. And the individuals that are currently employees of the Sioux Falls School District, they will have somebody that will cover their employment place or their job while they're completing the internship at the sub rate of pay. The total cost for the program, the Sioux Falls School District Teacher Internship Program, is approximately $31,443 for the 2017-18 school year. So a couple things that we have had come about from this is obviously those hard-to-fill areas with special education, having a workforce that hopefully will be produced from this that more reflective of our student population, and also an opportunity for individuals that are currently employed in the Sioux Falls School District as support staff that to have that career growth opportunity within our own district. The administrative recommendation to the school board: acknowledge the progress of the Sioux Falls School District Teacher Internship Program. And I'd stand by for any questions. Yes.
So 30 applicants, what would be full, so we had 6 kind of start the program, what would be considered full, like, for applicants?
5.
5. So we went over that.
We did.
So, yeah.
Originally, last year, when we presented this, we were looking at 5. There was outstanding applicants, so we did decide to fill out 1 more. Just when you're looking at individuals that wish to do an internship, especially in the area of special education, it was hard to say no. So 5 was what we set as the maximum number, at least through this pilot year, and looking to, because obviously there is a cost to it. But when you're able to grow your own with individuals in special education in other areas, it helps immensely then to be able to do that within, and the cost is probably minimal in comparison. But 5 was the number that we went with, but obviously we had expanded that to 6, and that is what we're looking to do again this next year potentially. Other questions?
Any other questions? Okay. Thanks, Jamie.
Very good. Thank you.
Right. And again, motion to acknowledge the progress of the teacher internship program, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay.
Second report tonight is a wellness program update. This comes to us from Becky Dorman, our Director of Human Resources.
Good evening. Well, it's January, and if you're like me, you may have some health goals on your mind. At least it is just the first week of January, so we still have our health goals on our mind. So I figured it'd be the perfect time to update you on the district's wellness offerings to staff. Back in March of 2011, the school board approved the insurance committee's recommendation for a district wellness program utilizing the services of Quality Health Solutions. The objective of the program were to bend the cost curve by improving the management of those already diagnosed with chronic illnesses, lowering the rate of new diagnoses, and then keeping our employees and their spouses healthy by engaging in a culture of wellness in the workplace and in homes. There we go. All right. So the district offers diverse wellness opportunities with financial or other token incentives to staff and spouses covered on the health plan. The Quality Health Solutions program is the pinnacle component of the district's offerings. So we'll take a look at their offerings. Their program runs March through February. It involves staff and spouses. They have to be enrolled on the health plan. All participants must complete a health risk assessment, which is an online survey about your own habits and feelings on your own health. And then you complete a preventive care form, which means you have to go to your doctor. The next section involves choice for our employees. They have to complete one of 5 options. Quality health programming, which is online learning in a variety of topics of interest to the employee or spouse. Quality health coaching, which is telephonic health coaching, 3 sessions of that. They can participate in the diabetes prevention program offered through Sanford at no cost to our staff or their spouses. It's ideal for people who are pre-diabetic or may have a family history of type 2 diabetes. It's 16 weekly group sessions, and then there's long-term follow-up available. The 4th option is a new option to us. It's called Naturally Slim, and that was brought to us by our health plan provider, Wellmark. It's a weight loss program that focuses on education and behavior modification. Again, no cost to staff or spouses. It has an online video component as well as online coaching. It's 10 weekly sessions, then 14 bi-weekly sessions, and then 6 monthly sessions. So it does go long-term. We had great interest in this program. 500 staff and spouses applied for the 200 spots that we had available. I was grateful that Naturally Slim has the application designed and the program manager to screen the candidates. That was a big interest there. And then the 5th choice that our employees have would be participating in the fitness challenge. And that could involve being a member of our Fit Club program, which is our fitness reimbursement. You visit a gym 8 times per month, you get $20. And that would be the staff and the spouse, so it could be $40 to the household. Or if you're not a gym member and you prefer to exercise on your own, you could log your 50,000 steps or 150 minutes a week of exercise. And you can use an online tracking app or a fitness device. Now, a lot of that is, it's a lot to track over the years. So QHS has an online presence where our staff can track how they're doing. And up there is my rewards tracker, and you can see that I've got a little ways to go yet. I've got the fitness challenge done, and I've got 2 other things that I have to get to yet before March 1st. The financial incentives for completing the Quality Health Solutions program is a premium savings, and they can be significant. So looking at the single coverage, employee plus one, and family coverage, that's per month savings for completing the wellness program. Success in the wellness program is measured in a couple ways. The first measure of success we'll take a look at is the participation. In the early years, we reached almost 80% participation. However, in the early years, staff only had to do 2 things. They had to do the online survey and then take their preventive care form to their doctor. And then in 2014, we added those 5 choices we discussed, and as we expected, our participation did dip a little bit. However, according to our consultants, a strong wellness plan is 60% participation, and we are exceeding that by 68 and 71%. So we've done really well so far in the participation. Another factor that we take a look at is the health-related data that QHS collects, and they collect that through the preventive care form submitted by our staff and spouses. They take a look at the 10 biometric and behavior risk factors that cost the most in healthcare, and they're listed up there for you. QHS provided us data from 2011 to 2016, looking at the people that have been in the program, with just over 1,000 of them. So in the 6 years of the program, we've seen a 13% reduction per individual in the 10 risk factors. And then we've also seen risk migration that indicates we're moving toward a healthier population. There's more people in the low risk category, fewer people at moderate risk, but then overall, there's fewer people in the high risk as well. Looking at the participant reported results, this would be from the online survey that people take about their own habits and health. Participants in the past 3 years are making better decisions about their health. We've seen a 21% decrease in behavior risk factors. And these behavior risk factors, according to QHS, are significant because they're the leading causes of sickness and death. Individuals with multiple behavior risk factors typically have high healthcare utilization and are among the most costly members in an organization. Our employees make better choices every day. The top 3 areas that we're getting better in is that we are avoiding unhealthy eating, we are eating more fruits and vegetables, and we are getting more exercise in our daily lives. So we've grown in those areas over the past 3 years. And that's based on 1,938 people in the past 3 years. Even though QHS is our pinnacle program, there's several other activities in the district that help support the growth that we've seen in our wellness program. And Fit Club is one of them. I touched on it earlier, but here I just wanted to point out that 42% of eligible staff and spouses participate in the fitness program. So I think that's pretty outstanding. 42 people go to a gym at least 8 times a month, in most months. We also have school-based wellness opportunities, and this might be a wellness committee at a school. We have an application or a program that they can complete, and they could get $100 of funding for their incentives or anything to promote their own program, just to keep the culture of wellness going in their own schools. We also receive assistance from a part-time wellness coach gifted to us by Sanford that really helps these committees get off the ground and also supports other work that we do with wellness. Employee Connect Services is also a part of our wellness program. It offers confidential guidance and resources to staff and people that live in their household. It's free online or telephonic assistance 24/7. And if needed, local assistance is available as well for free, up to 4 sessions per issue that the individual may be having. Now, the wellness program costs and direction. Our wellness program costs are just over $400,000. When you look at our total spending, that's less than 1.5% of our total self-funded health plan spending. So it's a very small part of what we spend on our health plan. Our programming decisions come from our insurance committee, which is made up of voting members from each one of our bargaining units. There's 2 school boards, a couple of central administrators, and then also Hayes Companies helps as consultants in our programming. Looking forward, this spring, the insurance committee will be taking a look at our wellness offerings and deciding if there's anything new that we'd like to offer to staff and reviewing our current results. With that, I'd ask the board to acknowledge the wellness report. Do you have any questions?
I just want to thank you for all you do, because as we add more of these, that's obviously more on your plate, and so thank you for doing that. And the benefit, even though we see the cost of this, we're seeing as an insurance committee a lot less of our employees having to go over the maximum amount of their insurance. So we're actually probably saving money as a district as a whole. So thank you for all your work.
You're welcome. Any other questions for Becky?
I like how it's not a one-size-fits-all. You know, there are some people who want to go to a gym. There are some people who maybe would prefer to talk to somebody or do something online. And so for the people who have an excuse about not being available to do something, there is some format that should work for a majority of people and kind of meet them where they're at and their own goals. So nice offering, very broad and in scope and flexible for all of our users. So good.
Driving by doesn't count. You actually have to go in. I found that out the hard way. You know, it's great to see that we're just becoming more healthy with the extra programs that we're offering. It's great to see that. Thank you.
Working in the insurance field, I understand that a robust wellness program is integral to saving money in the long run, and we've got a really robust program here, so kudos to you and everybody that participates. All right, so no other questions. Thank you, Becky. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the staff wellness program update?
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay.
Okay, our final report of the evening is a report on the Community Engagement Facilitator request for proposal results. I will do that from here and turn it over to board members Parker and Alberti in just a minute, but I would remind everybody that we started on a strategic planning process looking at things in the district, gaps that needed addressed, and probably formalized that process about 18 months ago. So quite some time ago. And one of the topics that we talked about in that strategic plan was Strategic Initiative 4.2, which talks about engaging the community in a dialogue about enrollment trends and facility needs. To take the next step, last August, we had a work session here in this room where we reiterated the adherence to the strategic plan and put together a timeline of events to address that particular initiative. Again, in December, a month ago, we had a work session in this room where we talked again about putting out a request for proposals to begin this community engagement process. We released that request for proposal on December 7th. Since that time, we have vetted applications, and we also had board members Parker and Alberti involved in that process, and I would turn to them at this point and ask for any comments or recommendations for the full board.
Yeah, we interviewed some final candidates today and feel very confident in our selection. You know, do you have anything to add before we?
No, again, the company that we kind of came down to feeling had the best proposal, the two that we interviewed both had good points, both understood the Sioux Falls School District. They had done their research. They had done a good job. The thing that I particularly felt with the Donovan Group, which is the one that we're going to recommend, they understood the value of the strategic plan that we have had in place, and rather than starting from scratch, they're going to build on the work that we have done. And I was just impressed with their understanding of the work that's already been put in and how they will be able to take that and look at this as a community engagement process, not that the end goal is going to be buildings, but that we need to get the community engaged, and we have begun that. So, you know, both good presentations, but Donovan, I think, did a better job of dovetailing into the work that we've already put in as a district. And when I say we, it's mostly the administration that's put the work in, and
We have the easy job. Well, yeah, pretty much. So yeah, so we are going with the Donovan Group, or at least that's our recommendation. And we'll, if you guys have any questions, we can answer them, or we can just go right into a motion to approve Donovan Group as the, I guess, winner of the RFP for Community Engagement Facilitator.
You would need a motion, I'll second it.
Yep, I need a motion.
I move.
I'll second.
Okay. Any other discussion?
No, thank you too for doing the extra work and going through the interview process, and I'm sure that you made a great decision, and from what we've seen, the information we've gotten, it looks like not only is it cost effective, but they really understand what our goals are, and hand in hand we can get this done properly and transparently with community input. So thanks for doing that.
Yeah, thanks.
My only question would be, when they just presented with the other services, I talked to a couple of their previous clients, and they did not use them to go for their bond issue on one, and they really felt they should have. Was that something that was discussed to continue, if we get to that decision, if that's one of the decisions, how that is done, and costs about that, or was it just, that's the end of the contract's basically the end of the study?
I think we're looking to them to get us through the facilitation conversation, and then we'll go from there.
And I think, you know, as I said, what they clearly articulated to us is that this is a community engagement process. Will it end up in a bond issue? It may not.
Right.
That, again, we wanted a group that came in without a preconceived notion of what the end result would be. And I think a true community engagement process is that we take that through, and whatever the community tells us they believe is the best course of action is what we will do, and we'll make that decision, I think, as a board when we get to that point.
Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, and we'll need to move into executive session. Can I get a motion?
Yep, I move that we move into executive session per South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, 4 and 3.
All right, thank you.